Ladies and gentlemen, and all genders outside and in between, this world is a world of darkness, and there may be some subjects that are quite triggering.
Even in a whole world of darkness, there is little protection against a targeted spotlight or a well-organized hunt. It turns even the most powerful and ancient of kindred into startled rodents, scrambling for safety, scurrying for the shadows, relying on their knowledge of their cities to return them to the safety of darkness. It's why the Camarilla have always asserted that the best way to hide is to make sure there's no chance you could ever have been seen. We are taught patience by those elders, because if you have an eternity, then any action taken immediately is rash, a sign of poor planning. Be calm. Be prepared. Know your exits. But if the light finds you and you allow fear to take root, you might find all of that melts away and something instinctive happens. The beast that most work their whole unlives to avoid succumbing to can take over. It might tell you to run. And of course you might escape for now, but how long before those searchlights follow your trail of panicked debris back to you? Besides, most have worked hard for their place and are loath to abandon it, or else too jealous to give it up and leave it for their rivals. Will we fight then, it might say, but has one fight ever really ended anything? If you kill one hunter, won't they just send two next time? And how many people, kindred or otherwise, can you kill before you lose yourself entirely to rage and hunger? Some may try talking, explaining how and why they ended up in the light, but those who succeed don't make it back unscathed. Perhaps you will be fortunate. Perhaps you can stay to the shadows, quiet and undetected for an eternity, but maybe one night you see your friend standing in that light, screaming at you to shelter them. How far will you go when the light rests on something you cherish? We all have to answer that at some point, whether now or in a century. And as our coterie stands in Saoirse's office, a hollow feeling echoes the same sentiment inside of all of them as they realize that question has come for them. The threat here is twofold. Whoever killed Saoirse was seen by the author of the blog, revealing your soon-to-be domain as the site of supernatural incident, but so too, it seems, was one of our coterie's own. Finn sits illuminated by the light of a blog post, the looping video casting flickering light and shadow across his furrowed brow. The beast begs him to run, hide. But he has so far been able to anchor himself to M's reassurance. M, having only just convinced Finn to stay, can almost read the residual fear in the tension of his shoulders. And CT, your eyes drift to the author of the blog. And it's a long moment before Bing Bing's stern questions break through your own muffled panic at the name Joshua Ryland. What do you do?
I leave. I know the street. And whichever is the fastest way to my van, whether that be by the door or the window, I am gone.
Finn, Bing Bing, you see CT suddenly start and move across the room towards the heavy drapes at the window. What do you do?
Where are you going?
What are you doing?
I gotta go.
Where are you going? We should stay together.
No, you don't understand. It's and there's something I need to do. I'm gonna grab the chair from the desk and throw it at the window.
Oh my, what is it? Was it something you saw on the blog?
This is not a good pathway to the outside.
Look, there's no time. There's like an hour till dawn, and we need to get there. We need to save that kid.
The what?
It's too close to dawn. We can't go there.
What? It'll
Who
take us like
knows
10
when
minutes.
this was posted? This could have been a video from hours ago.
It was a live
You
feed.
wanna go?
We've got to
where
go.
is-
That kid's gonna die.
CT, if you are grabbing and throwing that chair, could I get you please to make me a strength and firearms roll?
Yeah. This is gonna be an interesting roll.
Finn, Bing Bing, you watch as CT, mid his panic, grabs the office chair with both hands and hurls it towards the window. There is a dull thud as it hits the curtains, but CT is surprisingly strong. There is an unmistakable sound of cracking glass from behind the heavy drapes. And shortly thereafter, you hear quickly advancing footsteps coming down the hallway.
Why did you do that? This isn't a live feed. This is what happened before we got there.
I've already gone. I've jumped out the window.
Guys, someone's coming.
We have to follow him.
Is someone coming? Did someone? What is that?
Let's go. We gotta go. And
We have-
I ushered them towards the window as well.
Okay. As you
I cannot exit this way.
There's someone coming. We have to leave this way. How are you going to explain what just happened?
I will go through the people coming.
Can I?
We are
try to
vampires.
grab her to jump out with her.
Bing
Bing, we have to go. And
Are
I
you
try to-
touching me? Are you touching me?
Please, just.
Are you throwing me out a window?
As you bicker and argue and try to tussle to get towards the window, CT manages to sort of pull aside the drapes and darts out of the building, and the door slams open. A harsh yellow light bathes the office, and a familiar voice. Romy stood in the doorway, looks around the room. She says, "We have to leave. Are you quite finished with her eyes rest first on the splintered wood by the desk from where Bing Bing removed the drawer, and second on the splintered glass and splayed curtains. She places one hand on her hip, drums her fingers, and raises one eyebrow. This had better be good.
I take
He's
the
having a
monitor
moment.
and turn it towards her. CT's gone here. We need to find out who this kid is and what he knows. But it's so close to dawn, I don't know if we have time.
Romy frowns and crosses towards the laptop to take a look at it. As she gets closer to the desk, she, with one foot, pushes aside some of the splinters and makes a small tutting sound.
It was more expedient.
Yes, I'm sure the other Tremere will see it that way. Well. I see. He knows the place?
He seemed familiar with the individual.
He left in a panic. We better follow him, right?
We have maybe an hour until dawn, and this house, getting across the city, it's no more than half an hour or so. If he gets there in time, he won't make it back out. I'm not
We
sure.
actually don't even know how to go there now because he's kind of just gone on his own.
Then perhaps you should consider yourself somewhat fortunate to have some of the court's resources at your disposal. She smiles knowingly and walks over towards the window. She pulls the curtain aside and peers into the darkness for a long moment. Let's cut to CT. CT, you darted from the window. I need
Where's
you
the
please to
goddamn
make
key?
me, first of all, a stamina and survival check to see how you managed to make it out of this building safely.
Yep.
Perhaps in your panic, you haven't been as cautious with your footing as you usually would be. As you dart out of the window, your foot catches on the sill and sends you tumbling down the side of the building. It's not much in the way of damage, given your kindred nature, but it still hurts. Can you take 1 superficial damage, please?
Oh, God.
What do you do as you hit the floor?
And get up and go straight to Betsy.
With any degree of caution, or just as quickly as you can?
No, I'm getting to Betsy.
Okay. The streets are still quiet, and you have had to park Betsy a little way away because this particular street is pedestrianized, but you will be largely unobstructed. Can I get you please to make me a dexterity and athletics check?
Yeah.
Wonderful. And we'll use that to check back in to see if the coterie managed to catch up with you. Bing Bing. Finn. Romy peers into the distance and chuckles softly, pointing with a single finger out to the street. She says, "He took that a bit hard. He doesn't seem to be running very fast. Who amongst you is fast?" And as she says this, she stoops to remove her own shoes.
Finn?
I guess I'll go.
Let's do this. She, with a smile, sort of turns actually back to the hallway and goes to make her way downstairs. She doesn't seem too bothered about going out the same route. And as she hits the hallway, you realize why. She darts down it at an alarming speed. Straight into the darkness.
I'll see you guys later.
I guess she's the fastest. Yep, okay.
If you are running as well, can I get you also, please, to give me your dexterity athletics? And I believe Finn actually is alarmingly fast, isn't he, usually?
He is, but he's also a little bit hesitant, especially if M's not going in.
Okay.
Bing Bing's going to exit through the hallway at a normal pace.
Okay.
You want dexterity and what?
Dexterity athletics, you do also have the option if you would like to add your celerity. You can do a single rouse check, and then you can add your celerity rating to that roll as well, which will give you an extra 2 dice.
No, I think let's not.
Okay.
And I believe I'm at 1 hunger.
1 hunger, and I will need you please to do that at difficulty 2, because that was CT's roll.
Got it. So 4, 1, and 2?
Correct. Finn is too slow.
There you go.
Who else is running? Em is going to try.
I guess
Go
I'll
on,
go.
We believe in you.
gotcha.
Now
Can I-
remember, there's a couple of different ways that you can add to your pool as well. If you would like to rouse, you can add extra dice from your blood potency. So a single rouse check will give you an extra 2 dice here.
Sure. Is there any way for me to? I can't inspire Finn. I can't encourage him to run faster.
No, unfortunately, Finn has that specific ability in this case.
All right. Okay. What would you like me to roll?
Well, there's a couple of different ways we could do this, Em.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be fast, but you know these streets.
Okay.
If you would like, we could make this a wits and streetwise roll to see if you know a quicker way to the car than CT does.
Out the window? Yeah, sure, probably.
Well, you just have to park
Wits
a little
and
way,
streetwise.
so maybe you know a cut through that you can use.
Okay, wits and streetwise.
2 successes.
Mhm.
We'll see. Bing Bing, are you also attempting a pursuit, or are you taking your time?
I'm taking my time.
Okay. What we'll do then, very quickly, is we'll do a little immediate roll against and see which one of you comes out on top, because CT did also roll 2 successes. So maybe he's not quite fast enough. Let's roll a single dice each, and the highest number we'll say wins. M, you managed to catch up with CT with Finn trailing a little while behind you. Would you like to talk us through how that happens?
Well, there's this path in the corridor, and I know my way around the streets and cut over, and I kind of just managed to catch up almost in front of CT somehow. And
Okay.
yeah.
Get out of my way, seriously.
CT, what? Are you okay? What is going on?
Look,
You
I
need
need
to
to save
wait
that
for the
kid.
rest. Okay. Who is the kid?
Doesn't matter who the kid
CT?
is. I know the kid. I need to say, like, I'm going. There's no middle ground here.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Yes, let's go. I agree. Let's go.
Fantastic.
Let's go.
Right, quick. Go. Ah, jeez.
Okay.
Betsy.
I get in the van with CT as well, and CT, you look hurt. Are you okay?
It's on.
Are you-
It's on. Can we see Finn come in?
Finn is not too far behind. He only
Okay.
was 1 short of the success margin.
I'm gonna reverse up to get Finn.
Okay.
My bike is around the area, right?
Yeah, you could get to your bike.
Yeah, I'll just hop onto my bike.
Okay. So seeing that M has reached him, you're going to slow and pick up your bike. Is that correct?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
Bing Bing is well behind.
Bing Bing
She's
isn't
making her
picking
way
up.
down the stairs.
CT, can we
We've
just
got no
wait just
time.
to... Okay, I understand. I completely understand. Bing Bing is I can see. I
Which
can
way
see her.
are you going? I'll go get Bing Bing. I'll catch up to you, but I need to know where we're going.
We're going
I
to.
know the streets. I know the streets well as well. So maybe I do go with Finn. Actually, you know what? I'll get on the bike with Finn, like usual,
Then where's
and
Bing
just
Bing
wait
gonna
for
go?
Bing Bing. Just.
All right, I'll
Well,
see
you
you there.
think
I'll
she's
see you
gonna
there.
get?
Fine. Whatever.
You think
It's
she's
all
gonna
right.
get
We're
on a
going-
bike?
I'm going to
Okay.
Bordersley Green, okay? We're Bordersley Green. We're going to Bordersley Green. At the end of the road. I think it's about the 4th or 5th house down, okay? It doesn't matter. Go, 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 go. I'll see you there.
As you go to put your foot back down, CT, the unmistakable form of Romy appears about 2 meters from the front of the van. And when I say appears, I mean she moves so quickly that you see kind of a blur of sort of black and white of her suit, and she sort of stopping in front of the van. It's almost as if she stops so suddenly that her hair continues for a moment before it sways back into place.
Yeah,
And
fuck.
tilting her head very slightly, she gives you an admonishing look. Without saying anything, she taps her wrist and points to the sky.
I give her a nod and go.
For your awareness, you guys all know that you have maybe half an hour before the sun rises once you reach this house.
It's gonna be
So-
a close one.
Yep. With M on
We
the
should
back,
get
I'll
going.
turn to go to Bing Bing. Tell her where we need to go. She can figure out how to get there, and we'll go there right away.
She knows
Okay.
people. She'll be fine.
Okay. And then
Okay.
we head.
Put on the helmet, and then we're off. And then I
We're
lead Finn. Show him the way.
Okay. At this time, the roads are a little clearer than you had a lot of trouble with them earlier in the evening. The flashing of lights overhead is almost dazzling, and you try to stay focused on the path ahead. Finn, the biggest problem for you right now is that niggling paranoia in the back of your mind that you know will keep sapping at you until you've been somewhere safe. This house is not safe.
No.
What is he thinking?
I think he's just distracted with everything. Maybe missed a little bit at last minute turns because of what he's thinking and while M is telling him directions. But at the same time, he is with M, so he does feel a little bit safer, and it almost feels like that is a bit of a safe position for him right now.
Okay.
I think
He's thinking about what to do when we get there.
M notices that Finn is tense and just, whoa, that was a really sharp turn. Are you okay? We're almost there. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Right.
Let's just keep going. Let's just keep pressing on.
What are we supposed to do against this guy? Isn't he the one who...
M doesn't respond. She just tightens her grasp around him, just like a reassuring kind of squeeze to calm Finn down a little bit.
Okay.
And he continues on.
In the meantime, with CT and Betsy traveling at speed towards this house, was Bing Bing collected before he did this? Is Bing Bing being left at the office? Okay. Let's check in with CT quickly, and then we'll come to Bing Bing.
God fucking... Hold on. Oh, get out of the road!
CT. How would you describe your driving right now?
Reckless.
Okay.
I am taking every shortcut that I know to get to Bordersley Green as quickly as humanly possible.
Okay. Give me
And I
please
keep-
your dexterity and drive.
Yeah.
CT, driving recklessly is simple. You can put as much speed behind this as you like, and Betsy has been with you for years. You know how to handle her. Every sway and swerve is easy enough for you to correct, and you can keep yourself on track with no problem. But perhaps with all that control and the focus and the desire to get to this house in Bordersley Green, you've let yourself slip a little faster than you usually would. It's only a matter of minutes before you see the flashing blue of lights in your rearview mirror.
Ah, fuck!
Let's check in with Bing Bing. Bing Bing, you're making your way slowly out of the hallway as the rest of them dash off into the night. What are you thinking?
Always in such a rush. We have all the time in the world. Why can't it get into his head? CT, we're vampires. Bing Bing walks slowly down the stairs, taking her time. Not very slow, but comfortably. And then she arrives downstairs. Is Romy still down there?
She is, yes.
Did you see where they headed off to, Romy?
Yes. They seem quite determined that they should be able to make it to the house in time. I tried to caution CT that wasn't likely to work, but he doesn't seem in his best frame of mind. Do you know what's gotten him so riled?
I think that the person we saw, potentially, about to get murdered, is someone he knows.
Let's see. And from what little I saw of the blog that Finn showed me, it seems that we have a bit of a bigger problem on our hands than just that, don't you think?
I think so.
Bing Bing, I have a great deal of respect for your family. My own clan has sat outside of the Camarilla court for some time, and I understand what it is to have to come in and prove your place here. What I will say now is that taking up the mantle of this domain is a serious marker for your reputation. And any clumsiness in acquiring or maintaining it will be treated severely in the Elysium. I know it's just gossip, but you know better than most, I think, what gossip can do to one's reputation.
I have experience.
I cannot be there. It's a little too far east for me to go unnoticed, and my concern right now is that if the four of you really were attacked for being on the wrong side of the lines earlier tonight, I doubt it will be taken kindly that you return so quickly and so noisily as it seems CT wishes to. Bing Bing, if you have any means of tracking him down, slowing him down, and tackling this tomorrow evening, I would advise it. You have approximately 45 minutes until the sun rises, and I don't imagine that you want to spend the night in the back of his van on a street somewhere in Birmingham.
Not high on my list of things to do, no.
I'm going to go and have a few conversations. See what we can do about flushing out whoever it is that's behind this information. I'll leave the situation in your capable hands, Bing Bing.
Understood.
And with that, Romy pulls her shoes back onto her feet and slowly walks into the night. Bing Bing, what do you do?
I'd like to call my cab.
Okay. Give me a single D10, please. He answers and is available as soon as you need him.
I need you to follow the noise and catch up with CT and cut him off.
Do you know where he's going?
Something green, I heard them yelling.
Oh, yeah, there's a few of them around, but any idea which direction?
East.
Bordersley Green. It's near Small Heath.
I'm not familiar with the area.
No, don't worry about it. I think I know where I'm headed. Is that all you need? You want me to go find them and then keep you up to date with what's happening?
Just deter him from moving too close before the sun rises.
Right. Yeah, okay. Listen, we do need to have a quick chat at some point about our arrangement.
I understand.
Another time. I'll let you know what I find. And he hangs up. Let's check in with Em and Finn. Finn, keeping up with CT's driving proves a little challenging. You at least know CT well enough to spot the signs of his discomfort in the way that Betsy seems to react. It's almost as if CT's body language transports itself into the metal of Betsy's chassis, and that every sway, wobble seems to be like he is trembling. He takes a couple of dangerous turns. And then after those dangerous turns, you see a police car that had been idling a couple of cars in front of where your bike is at one of the crossings switch on its lights and turn after him. What do you do?
Damn it.
Shit.
He's not going to
idiot.
stop.
No, I mean what do we do? He has to. Do we distract the officer? What do we? He's just plowing through the streets. What is he doing? He's making his own shortcuts. Finn, what do you think we should do?
Is the police car in between us or behind us?
It's a little way ahead. So where CT's been weaving and hit the crossing, the police car was sort of idling in the second lane, if that makes sense. So as he's dived off, the car has turned on its lights to pursue him.
So it's in between us.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, between you and the van. Yeah.
If we don't do anything about it, when he gets to the house and there's a cop car, that might freak out whoever is in there and help save his friend.
Do we just let this happen? I mean,
we can stay behind them, and if when we get there it doesn't end up being advantageous to us, then we could do something to create a distraction for him.
Are you sure? Because I could.
I don't know.
I could use awe on the police officer and just convince him that he needs to go do something else right now.
While we're moving, if you can do that,
I'm incredibly talented.
I don't disagree, and I gas it to catch up to the police car and get up next to the window.
Okay.
Use your wilds.
I didn't feel comfortable maybe involving the police officer. I think we're trying not to make too much noise. We're trying to lay low here. I think the best course of action is for her to use on him.
Okay. Now, the nature of that, of course, is that you have to get his attention. And his attention right now is very much firmly on CT.
I'd like to bang on the window as I roll by. Just lightly.
Okay.
Finn, I was gonna do something else. I put my dress down just a little bit. I had something else planned, but that's fine. You can also just bang on the window. I pull my dress down.
That would have been good too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna eyes forward.
Okay. I need a roll from you,
Yes.
Let's see how successful this is. Now, it's going to be a high difficulty, I'll warn you now, because he is in pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
But it will be your charisma.
Okay.
And subterfuge.
Which I also have seduction, so.
You do. And you can take your awe bonus.
Okay.
And you also have a bonus because our M is beautiful. So that's another bonus dice from there.
So it's 10?
Dice pool of 10.
Okay, 10 with hunger 1, okay.
3 successes. As Finn bangs on the window and you adjust your dress, policeman looks kind of stunned, but not the good kind of stunned. Not the kind of stunned that you're used to shortly before somebody slides you a number or asks for your time. This is the kind of stunned that's much more aghast at the audacity of a man and a woman on a bike with only one bike helmet between them, and her apparently trying to flash the police officer. His confusion is palpable. He certainly isn't allured by your attempts. And instead, while his colleague looks a little more slack-jawed, he hits the radio and garbles something into it. He does have a little trouble keeping his eyes on the road, but more apparently out of kind of concern for how close this bike is to his car. Yoshi, you were going to say something.
Yes. So I'm noticing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you... Oh. don't think it's working.
Shut up, Finn. Shut up.
My way.
Shut
now.
up.
Lethal body, I want to kick the front of the car to spin it out. Hopefully hit it into whatever wall is on the other side.
Okay.
We'll see if your thing works, I guess. Sure, you get. I've never had this not work, so I'm a little bit, I'm fixing her hair on the bike. We're going at an alarming speed.
Okay. Finn, I need you to give me, please, your strength and brawl then. Now, you said you wanted to use your supernatural strength here. Are you looking to use prowess to add a bonus here?
Should I do prowess versus lethal?
Well, lethal body will do outright aggravated damage to mortals, but prowess will allow you to add damage rating and also to up feats of strength. So it will give you a little bit extra here.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
one.
So for the purposes of this check, we'll say take your potence rating as additional dice.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be your strength and brawl plus your potence.
Copy. You managed to land a blow, but it's not quite as stopping as you would hope it is. How do you think this fails? Is it a little difficult to land a kick and control the bike at the same time? That's not so hard. I think I'm a little distracted by my colleague here.
Hey!
Sorry. Can you? One more try. And
Okay. Give me this time a dexterity and drive check. Let's see if you can maneuver the bike in the way of this car.
Shite.
Does Em remember anything from the driving? Can she maybe for the second attempt, she's like, you know what? Let me grab the handlebars. Let me,
Yeah, you know what? You can.
Yeah.
A lot of the last time you guys were on a bike together was Finn instructing Em on how to lean to help out, right? So, whoa, Finn. Okay. Roll one more dice for me. Let's say that you get a bit of help from Em, and we'll see if it makes a difference.
Come freaking on.
Finn, tell us what happens here.
How bad of a fail are we talking here?
Ooh, a bad fail. So
maybe I think the cop is privy to this, and when I try to kick, he kind of hits the brakes, so I kind of kick nothing.
This is looking bad. The shock on the man's face has shifted into gritted determination. His colleague is frantically shouting into the walkie-talkie on his chest, and the policeman in question here attempts to speed up and move past you towards the van a little bit closer, trying to close that distance. It's at about that time that you notice a black cab weaving between the traffic behind you. He's keeping his distance, but you've been in that cab, and you know that driver.
That's Bing Bing's driver. That's maybe he'll do something.
What do you mean? We are doing something.
Well, I certainly tried. I don't know about you.
My leg hurts. You distracted me.
My ego hurts.
Worked on me.
CT, let's check in with you for a moment. You have, trying with this flashing lights that have come up behind you, shortly thereafter have seen in the few glances and that you've stolen in the mirror as you've attempted to keep going, you see Finn's bike pull alongside, You see Finn attempt to hit the car a couple of times. You see that M is not wearing a helmet and is sort of allowing the wind to tussle her hair quite alluringly, and you notice that that doesn't seem to be giving you any time or space. What are you trying to do?
I'm gonna try and lose the cops by taking a couple of back alleys that probably shouldn't be taken.
We back to scraping Betsy through alleys?
Yeah, I think we are, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Give me your wits and streetwise. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask... I'm going to ask one of the other CT. Okay. Give me one more dice, please. Okay. You will manage to evade the police car. You know these streets better than anyone. But as you sort of weave in behind these streets, diving off whenever you can, as soon as there is a gap in the traffic, a familiar niggle begins to appear in the back of your mind. And the voice of your blood calls at you to hide, to run, to find somewhere safe. Paranoia sets in strong. What do you do?
If I don't do anything, I just lose dice pool, right? If I go against it.
You do. You will lose 2 dice from your pool if you're not trying to hide. But further, the curse of your blood means that compulsions activate something else. The road before you begins to swirl with bright color. And the sound of your tires screeching and the occasional clip of wing mirror against brick puts an awful copper taste into your mouth, so strong that you're struggling to control it. You will take a penalty to all physical rolls from now on as well.
All right. Keep going.
You're going to keep going.
As much as I possibly can.
Okay. As you get towards the end of this alley, you see more lights ahead.
Jesus, are they real or are they not? I don't even fucking know anymore.
Sirens are loud. The ringing filling your ears trickles its way down your sinuses and into your nose, and the smells become overwhelming. The smells, the sounds, the textures, the steering wheel beneath your fingers seems to burn hot and is hard to keep control of. Everything is too much. And you just want to hide.
Do I have to roll like a self-control or something?
At this stage, no. It is just a constant distraction.
Then I keep going.
Okay. I need one more drive check from you then, to see if you can maintain control of Betsy. I need you to keep in mind that you're taking, on a Dex and drive check, a 2 dice penalty from the compulsion, and a 2 dice penalty from your bane.
So what happens when I have no dice?
I'm afraid we're talking about an automatic failure. Would you like to tell us how this goes wrong?
think as I'm driving down these back alleys and it's scraping, it's scratching, I'm seeing like everything is blurring and blending, and there's the scents that fill my nose are a mixture of like rotting flesh and candy, and it's just all like burning my senses. My actual sinuses feel like they're on fire, and as I'm like trying to not touch the steering wheel because it's hot and it's cold at the same time, and it's just not okay. And I think I just plow straight into a set of like dumpsters in the back and go straight through the windscreen and like hit one of the dumpsters because I'm not wearing a seatbelt because I didn't think to put one on.
Okay. Give me your stamina and survival, please, and we will check back in with Em and Finn while you do that. Thank you.
Did we see that?
Finn, you saw. CT weaving and diving off into a side street is reasonably easy to follow, and the policeman that you have been harassing is certainly in hot pursuit too. As the car turns off, you are able to turn off also. Are you trying to get ahead of the car, or are you trying to hang back, or?
Betsy?
The police car.
Can we attack the policeman? Can we like let them go ahead and just pull off to the side somewhere? What do you think, Finn?
Just
give your
jump at
fists
them?
another try? There's two of them.
That's true. I think we need to stop their car so they can't chase us. I'm all for busting up a couple cops, but
I think they're mostly in pursuit of CT though. Is that correct? Like they're mostly focused on CT. So I think we can just pull off to the side, kind of just fall back a little bit and let the cops pull up and come to a stop and then think about what to do, right?
Let's do it. I'll follow you.
Okay.
Follow your lead.
Okay. So you're trying to just give enough room that you can let the car get as close to CT as they want to, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Still deciding what the best course of action is. I'm also aware that there's a cab behind us, and I think they're very close, and Em isn't sure who's gonna get. Is the cab gonna get there first? Should we wait to see the cab do what they're here to do?
Okay.
Yeah, I think we peel back. We're a little embarrassed.
Okay. As you peel back
Been a
and
night.
give some room, the police car follows, and you hear the crash of Betsy colliding with the bins at the end of this road. The police car sort of begins to pull alongside it, and you've got adequate room to do whatever you would like. Are you pulling off to the side and just watching for a moment?
Yes. Finn, let's just pull off here. Let's just see what happens. Don't turn the bike off though. Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
Let's see how CT gets out of this one.
Okay.
He's not busted up. Flew through the windshield? Is that what we see? Do we see that, or
yeah.
we just hear things?
You'd hear from this angle. You wouldn't
We hear,
have seen
so we
that.
don't know
Yeah.
if he's okay. He's
Give me your wits and insight. See what you notice about how the police are behaving here. And Finn, are you looking for anything in particular here? You just watching the scene, or are you more worried about the cabbie, for example? Is there anything in particular you're looking at?
No. He's kind of unsure what to do.
Okay.
He's actually, you know what? He is looking for somewhere he can duck into in case sun finally starts to come up.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Give me your wits and survival then, please. But bear with me just a moment. I will just check in with Emily's one success there. It's difficult to tell from this distance, honestly, Em. They haven't gotten out of their car, is the first thing you notice. They are staying within it, but their lights are on full beam and they are watching the wreckage. What you notice as you're watching, however, is that the second car has also pulled alongside, and they are getting out of their vehicle.
The cab?
No, the second police car that cut CT off and caused him to sort of swerve into this bin. So you count 4 officers, 2 stood by the car doors and 2 still within the first car. Finn, would you like to give me that roll?
Rolling.
3 successes.
That couldn't be for the kick.
You are looking for somewhere that you might be able to hide should the daylight come. It's not too difficult to find somewhere for an emergency. The problem is more about how secure it is. There are obviously the large commercial waste bins that CT has just plowed into, but you know that that's not a reliable place to hide. But you also are very familiar with some of the underground tunnel networks. The one that leads to the clubs you fight in has a sprawling web that goes across quite a bit of the inner ring of the city and a little way beyond. It's not ideal. It's a little way back, but you think you could make it there if you needed to. As you guys are watching this, considering your options, the black cab slides alongside. And a man rolling down the window looks towards the van first, but then sort of turns his head back to the both of you. He smiles, nods, and then locks his eyes on you in particular, Em, and says, "Good to see you again. Bit of a bad night though, isn't it? I'll keep this brief. Bing Bing sent me to keep an eye on things. She's not here. I need to go back and tell her what on earth is going on. Do we have a footnotes? Quick version? Think you can keep your boy in check, or am I going to be trying to bail somebody out before sunrise?"
Well, CT crashed into a dumpster.
We don't know what's happening.
It's gone through the windshield. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what these cops' intentions are either. We don't know if they were intentionally in pursuit of us or if they just saw a speeding car and went after it.
He nods and sort of takes a moment to look over before stood over by the vehicles, and he says, do you see that one on the far left? He's been involved in some nasty business. I've got a little bit of information on him. If you can distract the others, I can isolate him. I can give him a little bit of a talking to, and we'll see if this can't be written off as a drunk driver that needs letting go for the night. What do you think?
Okay, let's do it.
That's a plan. How do we plan on distracting him this time?
Listen, I will use awe again. Maybe daunt? Can I use both?
You can't use both simultaneously, no.
Okay.
But can we use daunt together?
Yes.
Ooh, yes, please.
Let's do that.
Let's
Okay.
do that.
So what I need to know then, guys, I need your biggest pool. So daunt will add your presence to the pool, and I will need your manipulation and intimidation.
Manipulation is 3. Intimidation is 3. So 6 for M.
Whoa.
Okay,
Oh,
and then plus your daunt, so that's another 2 from your presence, so that's 8.
Okay.
Okay, and Finn, how intimidating is Finn?
Not at all, apparently.
Not that. Okay, take a bonus dice.
What was I thinking, Mick?
It's a good choice. So take a bonus dice for Finn's help, and also one for the cabbie.
Okay, so it's a 10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
Wow.
Here we go.
What does M do?
What does M do? This is gonna work?
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is gonna work. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna try the dress thing again. I'm already off the bike. M walks over, one heel in front of the other, walks up to, because there's a police officer to the left of the van, and then there's two in the car. Well, there's two and then two in the car, right?
Correct, yeah.
And one of them's trying to get isolated. I walk towards the two that are in the car. I just tap on their window like this. They roll it down, no problem. I just lean in and I look at them in the eye. My arms crossed like this on the window, and I say, you stay in here and you don't move. Got it?
Something about the rumble in your voice and the piercing of your gaze seems to freeze them both into place. You see a widening of the first man's eyes, and the second one, his knuckles whiten as he holds onto the door handle. But he gives a very small nod. For a moment you think he's about to reach for his radio, but then his partner, quickly slamming a hand onto his, seems to dissuade him of trying it. In the meantime, the cabbie has made his way to the other car, and seemingly with a similar tactic, has leant into the window and is having a hushed conversation with one of the policemen. He produces a small black flip notebook from his pocket and presents the man with a list. He smiles knowingly, gives a small tilt of his head, puts the notebook away and straightens. He comes over towards you both, smiling, and says, we shouldn't get too much more trouble, but I am going to have to add something to Bing Bing's tab.
That's CT's fault.
Yes, good point. Do you want to check how he's doing? That looks a bit...
Yep. I'll go start to walk towards him.
Yeah.
Okay. CT.
It's like your intimidation is on point there.
CT, you took a hell of a tumble out of the front of the van, and that survival check didn't look good.
Well, I've got to do it yet. So do I still minus 2 dice?
Yes.
Not great. What happens if your dice pool is less than your hunger pool?
Then you roll entirely hunger dice.
Okay, I got some. All right. Oh wait, do I still get 2 minus 2 for compulsion?
Oh yeah, you're on a
In which case
-4
it's an
right now for physical things.
Automatic fail.
Automatic fail. So I need you to take a superficial damage, please, again, and to tell us what state do Em and Finn find you in.
All right. I think. Oh, all right. My health isn't looking great, so I think I go through the windscreen. So I'm absolutely completely slashed up and covered in scratches and what have you. Hit, like, sort of do a tipple tail, like grab hold of the bonnet in order to try and stabilize myself. But in the process of grabbing hold of the bonnet, crack against the edge of of the dumpster and snap my spine. So like literally just fully snap it, roll off, and I'm just like in a puddled mess in the bottom, just covered in bin bags.
Em had like a serviette ready from her clutch. She was gonna clean up the blood, but she knows and she notices that it's just that's like the least of the concerns right now. So she just stands back, shocked and close to Finn.
I'm gonna go forward, CT. You don't look so good. I have a little bit of medicine. Is there a way for me to help, or at least assess that I'm not gonna mess him up even more by pulling him out of this?
You won't be able to help. Unfortunately, kindred bodies don't heal, they mend, so patching them up
Right.
doesn't really do much, but you are able at least to see what the problem is. I think, given the circumstances, I don't think we need a roll for this.
We
It's
might
very
need
obvious
Bing.
what's happened.
Yes.
You can see plenty of lacerations. You can see that he's contorted in this kind
CT.
of pile of rubbish.
I know you're trying to get to your friend, but right now you're gonna do more worse than good. I think we gotta get you back to your place.
But I gotta
I'm gonna
say,
get you in the back of your van. I'm gonna get you
CT.
back in your van, and we're gonna drive you back. Okay?
don't understand. I can't lose him. I can't.
Okay. Well,
I
what
gotta
if we
look
tell the
after him.
cabbie to go get him?
This thing killed Saoirse. This thing killed Saoirse. How
What? How do you-
are we meant to?
How do you know that? You're not making sense right now.
Did you not see
How do
the
you-
blog? The blog was all about the death of Saoirse. The kid followed the person that killed Saoirse into the fucking house. How are we meant to survive?
Look. TT. But if we go right now, he'll kill all 3 of us. Along with the kid. We need to come back to this tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
I know, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
I'm gonna look
CT,
after him.
I know, CT.
I'm gonna
I
save
promise
him.
you. He's not gonna be able to do anything if you're dead. And in 30 minutes, that's what we'll be. Forever. And I kind of pull him in and try to start to carry him to the back in his Betsy's bed.
Yeah.
Is the cabbie nearby? Can I signal to the cabbie to just go? Go,
You
go,
can-
go.
Yeah, he's stood a little way away on his phone at the moment, but he is watching.
Okay.
He nods and turns to head back to his car. So Finn, you carry CT to the back of the van.
Yep.
Betsy is looking in bad shape.
Can I check to see if Betsy is drivable?
Absolutely, yeah. Give me your wits and technology, please. Or resolve and technology, whichever you prefer.
Definitely wits.
Yeah. Betsy is drivable, but in very bad condition. You could probably take her a small distance, but then she needs attention.
Okay.
She's not gonna, die on you anytime soon, but you certainly wouldn't want to be driving her at high speeds, if that makes sense.
Do I know a safe place where, like, CT's place is close enough for me to get him to?
CT stays in his van. Betsy is all
Great.
he has.
That's true.
M has never seen anything like this before. Are we supposed to take him? I guess we don't take him to a hospital. What are we supposed to do?
I don't
Just leave
know.
him in his
I
van?
think-
I feel like we need Bing Bang here.
We should. Do you have? I have an apartment, small apartment. We need to take this van into a garage so that we can stay near the van while he heals.
Okay, you don't have a garage? We have to take it to
I
a
don't.
garage? Okay. Okay,
Finn,
you
we're
have
running out
a
of
garage?
time.
Finn,
We're
you
ready.
do have contacts from your underground scene that you might be
That's
able
true.
to use to help you here. One of
Okay.
the guys who runs the fight obviously has places where he can keep things. So maybe
Great.
you could call in a favor.
I would love to flip through my phone and see if I remember his name.
Yeah. You'll be able to, you wouldn't need to call ahead, especially having phones is a little risky at times like this, especially, but you know where to find him. If you can
Okay.
get Betsy there, you'll probably be safe for the evening.
Okay. You ride behind us. Take the bike. I'll drive Betsy and that's where we need to go tonight, right now.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys get on
And I
the
try
road.
to secure the bed a little bit, at least, so that he's not in the back.
Pushing over the pizza boxes and just make sure he's
Yeah.
Make him some
comfortable.
room.
It's
Okay.
Lock him in.
An
M gets on the
absolute
bike.
travesty in the back of my van. Like, there's a flight case that we lived in, that we put the other corpse in before, and that's probably where you'd put me. but like the entire back of the van has got random books all over the place that look about 100 years old. There is bits of pages that are stuck, like sellotaped and gaffer taped and blue tacked all to the side. It looks like a conspiracy theorist's van with a big flight case in the middle of it that's got stickers all over it from all the places that CT's been.
Okay. You guys managed to get CT secure, and you begin to drive towards the location that Finn knows he can find his contact at. And in the meantime, let's check in with Bing Bing. Bing Bing, where have you gone while you've waited for your cabbie to tell you what's happening?
The area where the apartments was, it's pretty central.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. So Bing Bing would probably go towards her apartment, because it'd be fairly close to her apartment, walking distance almost.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously knowing that your cabbie has eyes and much better wheels and access to the situation than you, there's no reason you wouldn't feel safe going back to your apartment and waiting for word from him, certainly. And you do get that word. Although it is exceptionally uncommon for Camarilla Kindred to keep mobile telephones, landlines are somewhat more of a necessity occasionally. And it's not long after you close the door shut behind you that you hear the telephone ringing.
Did you find them?
Yeah, I've got them. They've caused a bit of a mess over here, though. Heads up, you might have some things to deal with tomorrow, but at least for now, I've managed to pull some strings. We do desperately need that conversation about your tab, Bing Bing.
Of course.
Right. I'm sure Central Office will get in touch with you as soon as possible, but I'll come and check in with you soon. I think by the looks of the state of things here, I get the impression you're going to be quite busy tomorrow evening.
When am I never?
Well, yeah. So I'm going to keep an eye on where they're going and let you know where to find them tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'll speak to you soon.
As always.
And you're able to take your time about getting ready to sleep. You feel the familiar tug as the sky begins to lighten. Day sleep starts to feel heavy in your limbs. And before you really have much time to dwell on the activities of this late evening, early morning, you slide into blackness. Day sleep claims you, and you rest. But day sleep for Kindred is not quite rest. It is kind of a small glimpse of death again. It's nothingness. You don't hear the sounds of people outside. You don't rouse at all until the sun slips back below the horizon again. And Bing Bing, it's as that darkness becomes apparent and your mind begins to wake, that you cast your mind back over the events of the previous evening. The conflict with the annex over in Small Heath, Saoirse's murder, the investigation of her office, and a small voice begins to chuckle in the back of your mind. And images flash before your mind of what it felt like as that man's life was extinguished beneath your fangs within a shroud of smoke. I need you please to make me a remorse roll. Now,
Nice.
it is the gap between your stains and your humanity. So Yes, 2,
Three?
3 dice. So you should make me 3 dice, please. Success. Bing Bing, what is it about what happened that you regret?
Bing Bing hadn't tasted a live human in a long time. She mostly feeds on rancid blood already from things that are dead, or old blood. And she regrets that she let her control loose enough to take the entire life of the man she consumed. Not so much because she's sad about losing a human life, because she's a vampire. She doesn't. And she's been a vampire a long time. Lives come and go. She's mostly sad that she lost control while she was on a mission. That she wasted time on this.
Okay. The only other thing I need from you then is a rouse check, please. Single dice. You don't feel any hungrier, at least. Which is good. Let's check in with Finn and see how his evening is going. Finn, the area that you've managed to get to, that your contact has sort of put you up in, is a small, quiet lockup in one of the industrial areas in the back of Birmingham. It's not ideal, but between the walls of the lockup and the van itself, at the very least, you've been safe from the daylight. Can I get a single dice rouse check from you, please?
Absolutely.
You're no hungrier. What is Finn thinking as wakefulness pulls back into his mind?
Just making sure that the security of their place. And is Finn with M and CT, or he's kind of put them in a different position or place?
You're in sort of a small lockup, so I will leave it to your discretion where you think Finn has put himself. But you know CT isn't in much of a state and probably doesn't want to leave his van.
But I feel close enough to know that he'll be safe.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. That's really all he's thinking about, and just finally feeling good about being home and taking in the whole day and how crazy it's been.
Okay. Let's check in. Is it well?
Can he?
Yeah, of course.
Can he mend?
Absolutely, yes. So it's a single rouse check for every point that you want to mend, because you are blood potency 1. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Try to mend. Okay, good.
Yeah, you're no hungry. You are hungrier. That's a total failure. So you get hungrier, but you can still mend a point of damage.
Okay.
Okay. So as hunger kind of tugs at your mind here, you sort of the grazes and cuts that you've got pull closed, but that little purring growl starts to appear in the back of your mind again. You need to eat, not desperately, but you will need to eat. Let's check in with CT. CT, can I get a single rouse check from you, please? Hungrier.
I am
CT.
famished.
CT, hunger claws at your throat like you haven't felt in a long time. You can hold back the need to feed right now, but being as hungry as you are, you know that all it will take is the smell of blood to potentially push you over the edge and force you to feed.
God damn, why didn't those cops come a little bit closer?
And on top of that, of course, you have some damage.
Oh, yeah. I am going to... I'm going to need to risk a rouse check to heal my spine, aren't I?
Mm-hmm. Give me one rouse and let's see how it goes.
On RNG.
Hungrier. The growling of the beast is cacophonous. You can heal some damage, but the need to feed is now so strong that you know even feeding may prove difficult to hold yourself back from. You need blood.
I am going to smell out a homeless person or a street vagabond or any mortal around.
Okay. Give me your wits and streetwise.
Yes.
CT, you pull yourself from the van and note your surroundings for the first time. You're in a small lockup. The exact area from in here isn't clear, but when you make your way towards the door, it's only a few slow blinks before you begin to focus on your surroundings. You know the area, and you know exactly where to find at least one of the retinue you've spent some time dealing to before now. What do you do to
some
feed?
old friends.
How do you succeed?
In finding them?
Oh, you succeed in feeding. You tell us how this
Oh.
works.
I think, given how hungry and distraught I am, they open the door. I go around, knock on the door, and they open the door and I'm like, Jesus, CT, you alright? You okay? What the hell happened to you? Because I still look like I went through a windshield, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh man, it's been a rough night. And I, like, literally, as they put their arm under me to grab me, I just grab them, throw them up against the wall, and then just like sink my teeth into them and just shut the door of the apartment closed.
Okay. CT, this blood is delicious. The growling in the back of your mind of the beast slows into a purr, it quiets, but it urges you on in a way that you don't feel you fully have control of. You have a choice. I either need you to make me a hunger frenzy check, or, if you would like, you can ride the wave, and you can tell me how it is you managed to get down to one hunger.
I think I ride the wave. And just fully, as they're going, and they start, the beginning is just hitting at me, and like obviously the kiss of most vampires is quite ecstatic, so they're just like sort of pouring at me, and just as they're paling and their hand goes limp, they whisper my name. That was a close one, Charlie. That was a close one. Fuck, you're gonna feel that one in the morning.
He feels heavier in your arms than usual.
Charlie? Charlie, come on, buddy. Come on,
He blinks at you very slowly, but his mouth hangs open slightly, and his fingers attempting to clutch at your shirt don't seem to grip.
Fuck. Shit. Right. I lick the wound clean, so that it heals up, because that's what happens, right?
It is.
And then let him collapse on the floor. Run over to his phone, or pull out his mobile phone, or what have you, and call 999.
Okay.
Yeah, shit, how do these things work? What fingerprint? This one? No, this one? No, this... Aha, okay, you tricksome bastard. God damn it. Right, 999. Call. Hello, yes, I need an ambulance. This is the address. I gave them the address. Yeah, okay. Yeah, a guy, he's collapsed in the hallway. I don't understand. It's like the big apartment block is collapsed. It looks like he's really dehydrated. Like he maybe had too much of a good night throughout the day. Too many beers, threw up too much or something. Yeah. A lot of IV, that stuff. Yeah, whatever fluid. Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Right, cool. Can I stay with him? No. I'm really sorry, I can't. I've got to go visit my aunt who's pregnant. Okay, bye. Shit. Cool. Okay. Let's see what I'm gonna rifle through Charlie's pockets and put all of his valuables, apart from his house keys, in the apartment. Drag him out to the corridor. Make sure no one's looking. Shut the door and block off.
Okay. Thank you. Let's check in with M back at the unit. You feel as day sleep leaves and the heaviness shifting out of your limbs brings new energy to your mind. Can you give me a single rouse check, please?
V1?
Mm-hmm. No hungrier. As you wake and stretch and look around, you see Finn awake, and you hear CT clanging his way out of the unit. He's gone for a little while, but in the meantime, Emma, is there any mending or feeding that you need to do?
I'm at 1 hunger and 0 superficial damage, so...
Em's doing fine.
I'm just peachy. I'm feeling refreshed.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, we'll skip a little bit of time and get everyone back together.
Sure.
CT clangs back into the unit after a little while, and Finn still sat there. And short time afterwards, the black cab from the night before pulls up outside, and Bing Bing approaches the unit.
You've all changed, and I still... Yes.
And you look fine,
I went
please.
through a window, all right? I went through a windshield. I need to grab
Where
something.
did you... Okay.
Charlie
CT,
has this shit.
How's your spine? How'd you manage to...
I mean, what can I say? It was a pain in the ass, then it was a pain in the spine, and now it's what it is. Right. So...
Okay.
What happened to your
go?
spine?
Oh, yeah.
Got in a little accident.
Betsy is a bit shorter, wouldn't you say?
Little accident. Yes.
Betsy, I'm so sorry.
What
Beautiful.
are you wearing?
It's Charlie's fashion sense, all right? The shirt that I had was all ripped up and covered in blood. Do you want me to be just a walking masquerade breach? That'd be great, all right? This is all that Charlie had in his wardrobe, okay?
I
You're
kind of
very
like it.
loud.
So, last night was a little bit nuts. What do you think if we figure this out before we go running off anywhere?
Look,
Because that was a mess.
okay, look,
Imagine a mess while you're running off in a frenzy.
I was not in a frenzy. I was perfectly in control. Thank you very much, Bing Bing. But the kid...
How was your van again?
Not right now, Bing Bing.
Well, this isn't gonna help.
Okay, look. The kid, I know the kid. The kid is very important to me.
Okay.
Didn't realize, I knew he was doing this blog, but I didn't realize that he was investigating this kind of shit. He'd better be still alive. We need to get to that house. We need to find out if he's okay. I can't.
Is there a way for me to check the blog? Do we have in this little area, or maybe my contact? Would I be able to borrow their laptop or something I could look up?
What are you looking for?
I'd like to take a look at the blog again to see if there's any updates
I see.
on the blog.
Yeah, you could ask your contact to take a look. The blog name itself is a little indiscreet and therefore easy to remember. The blog is titled, according to apparently a group of cryptid hunters at the University of Birmingham. The picture at the top of the blog is a particular patch. And so therefore you are able to quite quickly go to uobcryptozoology.com and find the place. Not very well hidden. When you do, through your contact's help, take a look, you see that there are no updates. The same grainy video is on loop at the top of the page.
Okay. We gotta go back that way. CT, I don't think your van's gonna make it, bro. Again, I can take M on the bike, but I don't know how you guys are gonna get there. I don't think you should take your van.
How bad is Betsy?
You've got maybe, I want to say, 30 miles left in her.
Wow,
if
you have
we don't take her into a thing.
no bedside manner, Finn. Jeez. Yes.
Damn it! And the other thing is,
I can make a small offer here for the table if you guys would like to consider it.
Yeah.
Finn's contact, who has this lockup in the middle of nowhere, could have been persuaded to do some repair work on the van if you'd like, but it will cost you. He will need 1 dot of resources from somebody at the table.
well, I don't care. Betsy, I'll give you my total resources.
Have you
My
got
baby.
enough?
Does that mean I take the entire dot off?
You will take the dot off your sheet. For now, it's a temporary spend. We'll talk about how you earn it back another time.
That's fine.
Okay.
Take what you need. Sunshine, I got money.
Okay.
Okay. Betsy, although she could probably still do with a full and proper service, at least now is road safe enough. Your contact Finn does warn you against any reckless driving again and says that he's kind of surprised that she managed to stay in such a repairable state as it was. He says there's a couple of things on her that need more attention, but that he's at least repaired the most urgent problems. She'll get you through the next couple of nights.
I appreciate it. It's great. Betsy, you get me through so much. Right, we have to leave. And I need to,
Okay.
at the very least, I need to know what happened to the kid.
We must proceed with caution. This area is not under our domain. We have already angered those which keep it.
Good point.
We could be compromising our entire retinue.
Yes. So let's just tread carefully. Bing Bing, going with the van?
Let me see if my cabbie is around.
He has dropped you off, Bing Bing, but says that he has some matters to attend to make sure that he can keep that specific policeman off your tail for tonight. He can only do one or the other. He can stay with you, or he can try and brush the problems with the police under the rug.
Bing Bing's trying to figure out a way where they don't have to take the van at all because it's incredibly conspicuous. So is the motorcycle. Is there an option of getting another cab or Ubering or...
Okay. Well, the conversations that he needs to have mean that he can't stay by your side, but there's no reason he couldn't drop the four of you at the property. It would mean that you would have to figure out your own way home.
Is there an alternative?
Taking the van and the bike.
You want to walk?
Hijack an ambulance?
I'm thinking of the most inconspicuous way for us to travel across the city. Rather
expects an
than
ambulance.
this entourage.
I mean, who owns the house? I mean, we can still walk into other people's domains just as long as we're not causing any ruckus, right?
Yeah, look. New outfit. Incognito.
Yeah.
Yes. You're so much more subtle now. In lavender.
What do you say? No one would expect me to wear this shirt.
I can see you from anywhere.
All right, Your Majesty. Power of observation. Well done.
I like it because we can keep tabs on him. He doesn't run off again. You're
So
fine. Just
can
stay like
everyone else.
That's true.
Okay, look.
If we were to go into this domain as conspicuous as we are, would it pose a problem as long as we're not doing any? Like in Finn's mind, does he know that it'd be okay?
You'd have to be careful, certainly, but obviously one of the options you've got is not being seen. Now, as I said, Finn is aware of certain tunnels that go under the city in certain places, and that might get you close. And obviously one of the key ways that people keep their domains secure is to keep an eye on the perimeters. Perhaps if you can go underneath the perimeter, they won't even know you entered.
And we'll be able to take our vehicles in these tunnels, or is it a walk?
It would be a walk if you went that far.
You talking about the Nosferatu Tunnels? Are we going into Nos territory?
I think they are. I'm trying to decide which would be
I?
the better option here.
I don't know them as the Nosferatu Tunnels, but I suppose they might be one and the same?
The Nosferatu, through virtue of their bane of being usually quite deformed, tend to try and stay out of the sight of mortals as much as possible, and the tunnel's the easiest way for them to do so. Finn certainly would have come across a couple in his time using them, but it's not that the tunnels are strictly theirs. It's just that they tend to be in them.
Are you uncomfortable with them? They've never done anything to me.
No, not uncomfortable, but they do have a tendency to know stuff. As long as it doesn't slow us down, I'm cool. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. It'll be fun.
Ladies, shall we take a walk?
Let's take the tunnels, and then maybe our cabbie will be able to pick us up later.
You might need better shoes.
I'll be fine. I have been in these heels for centuries.
I think I might have some boots. Hold on.
Finn, can you carry me?
A piggyback ride?
Yes, please.
All right, piggyback ride it is.
Bing Bing looks at
some kind of
CT
movie?
and Bing Bing looks at CT and makes eye contact and just, is this what young vampires are like now? Is that how the millennials are?
Do you know what? I'm as lost as you are. For once in our entire existence, Bing Bing, we're on the same page.
This is why I don't carry a mobile phone.
This is why I don't carry an M.
You guys are able to locate the entrance into the sewers that Finn is familiar with. He leads you down a particular passageway that, while it appears very dark and dingy, and you can hear this kind of soft dripping from the entranceway, the further you go in, the lighter it becomes. Small lights fixed to the walls as you go through illuminate the way. It's not necessarily a pleasant sight, but you can see. And better, you're not impeded. You can get across the boundary without any trouble. And it isn't long before you pop up into a street that CT is familiar with. He leads you the rest of the way towards the house. And what you see is almost derelict. The house stands alone, with a small overrun garden surrounding it. A chain link fence with several missing links and breaks surrounds it. And to the west and south of the property, there is a dense hedgerow that blocks any movement from the path. The street is empty, and the house sits in a poor part of Bordersley Green. From the outside, the two-story house seems deserted, with metallic security panels fixed to a couple of the windows around the back and wooden boarding to the front, alluding to the house's potentially condemned status. The paint is flaking around the windows, and the brickwork is weathered and worn. A small set of cracked stairs leads to a nearly empty porch, and another cracked and weathered wooden door. On the porch, there are 4 plant pots. And hung on the gateway, leading down the path, is a jacket covered in the patches of various cryptids. And the front door seems ajar. And we'll take our 5-minute break there.
You, every time, Lily, every time.